Okay, so I recently read Twilight. I know me, as 16-year-old male, is not the target audience for these books, but that only made me more curious. Obviously, the discourse around Twilight is that it's a terrible romance novel with vampires that everyone hates, but the major players in internet discourse are males. So, could it be that people were just bashing a book based on the fact it just doesn't apply to them? Or are there actual legitimate problems with the book? Let's start with the beginning of the book. Bella Swan is a teen from Phoenix, Arizona, that moves to Forks, Washington to be with her father. As she moves in, we get to meet three pivotal male characters. We have Mike Newton, an average high school male, Edward Cullen, secret vampire man, and Jacob Black, the son of a family friend. Mike, out of the gate, gets rejected, so rip for him. Edward immediately scares off Bella, who thinks he hates her, and Jacob gets trolled by flirting, which causes Bella to learn about the legends of vampires and werewolves surrounding the town, which will be important later. The pivotal part of the book is when Bella almost gets run over by a truck, but gets saved at the last minute by Edward's super speed. This brings up the first major problem I have with the book, Bella's total incompetence. Other than cooking food, ironically, Bella can do nothing right. She cannot play volleyball correctly, she can't walk without tripping, and she constantly stumbles into danger and is a danger magnet, in the words of Edward. This causes Bella to have a significant inferiority complex compared to the perfect Edward. She constantly doubts her ability in the relationship and never questions Edward for too long because she's focused on how incredible he is compared to her instead of legitimately evaluating his behavior. Does Bella ever really get hurt by this mindset? No. Even in the second book, when Edward leaves her for no reason and breaks her heart, she thinks it was all because of her and really only blames herself, and in the end, Edward comes back anyway. This sets a terrible example to the target demographic of teenage girls. Just because someone is traditionally more attractive than you or more popular in the relationship doesn't mean you should worship the ground they walk on. They are a partner and they deserve the same scrutiny in relationship that you would give yourself. Moving on with the book, Bella goes on a trip with her friends to Seattle, or Port Angeles, and gets attacked by a mob of people. She's about to get raped, or murdered, or robbed, when Edward shows out of nowhere and saves the day. How did he know where she was? By reading everyone's minds and stalking her. He later admits to going into her room every night and listening to her sleep, which is creepy on so many levels. As shown by the previous example, Bella only finds this extremely hot and attractive, and not a serious breach of privacy that is worth discussing for very long, because his eyes and chest are just so beautiful. So yeah, condoning stalking, even in a fantasy setting, is not the best example to set in any situation. Anyway, the book continues with the cliche kissing in a grassy meadow scene, and Bella and Edward start dating, as much as you can date within a 100-year age gap. But then, the Cullens commit the cardinal sin of playing baseball. Other vampires then attack, try to destroy and kill Bella. She runs to Arizona, gets attacked again, and eventually gets saved by Edward in the end after he sucks the vampire venom out of her body. Now you know what happens. I guess the third and overall main problem I have with the book is the whole bad boy who needs redemption by the main character trope. Edward is such a bad boy who constantly wants to drink human blood, but Bella thinks that she can fix him and make him into a kind, empathetic lover boy. Not to judge, but I feel like you have better options. In conclusion, Twilight is not a great book due to all these reasons, yet it was still extremely popular. Maybe teenage girls like the idea of someone being that obsessed over them. Also, as a certified owner of the movies, please somebody take them. Don't watch. Just don't. They only get more terrifying. Also, poor Robert Pattinson, he looks so much better when he isn't shimmery.